Today, I'm showing you how to make graphs using your existing Google Docs data using Google Sheets. The very first thing you need to do is you need to make a copy of your data set. Do not rename it, because if you rename it, it's still the same file you all share. You need to make a copy that no one else has access to. So, as I have said, you're not allowed to work on this together. So, the copy you will rename with your name, and it is your private data that you will not share. If it happens to already be clicked to share it with anyone, turn it off, make sure it's not shared with anyone, so it is a new document only you have access to. What will happen is a new tab will pop up, as you can see here. If it doesn't pop up, there will be an error message that says your computer program stopped it from creating the pop-up. Go ahead and allow it to pop up. Once you have the new tab, close the original data set so that you don't make any changes to the data that you're sharing with the others. Also, you will not need that data anymore since you now have your own private data set. So, as I have said already, you need to do 3 graphs. So, what you want to do is you want to insert a new sheet for each of the new graphs you are going to have to create. So, there is the second one, and finally, I have the third one. So I'm going to go back and rename each of these for what it is that it is. So the first one is the original data. Here I'm going to do a model of the first data set graph. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and model for you data set 4. Which requires me to find an average. So I will show you that as well. Okay, so one thing I also wanted to point out is you will notice that I do not have the word control and experiment. I actually have the variable. So here I'm imagining an experiment where I did a control of water and I was testing to see the effect of a 1% salt solution on my experiment. So I actually have this rather than control and variable. You want to be more specific than that. So to make the first graph, it's quite simple. All you need to do is a bunch of copying and pasting. So first thing I'm going to do for all of these is I'm going to go ahead and copy the dates that I did each of the experiments. And so all I did here was I hit Control Copy, or Control C. All right. And then to paste it, I do Control V. Go back. First data set I want to copy. Control C. Next data set I want to paste it. And then finally back to the original. Copy this and paste this. All right, so now I have the data I want to graph, and graphing it is quite simple. You highlight the entire data set that you want to graph, and what I do is insert a chart. Not sure why they call it a chart instead of a graph, but don't worry about that. Click on it. It'll give you options of what kind of chart you want to do. The default seems to always be a bar graph. You do not want a bar graph. Since you have continuous time over your experiment from the day, you want to make it a line graph. So what you can do in here is click chart type, and I am going to go ahead and pick a line graph. All right, so I look over here and it looks pretty good. I have my lines, I have my dates, and I have my variables over here. That looks great. So the last thing I need to do is I need to make sure that all of my labels and everything is here. So I'm going to go to customization. And the first thing is my title is not complete. So whatever this is, you are not going to call it dataset 1. If this was nitrate level, you would say nitrate level H2O. Also, it's not an and, it's a versus, so change it to versus. All right, scroll down a little bit more. My horizontal axis, my date and day is there. That looks good. The axis labels, everything looks fine. The one thing I do want to do though is I really like data labels where the numbers appear. So go ahead and change it from none to value and you will see the values pop up. So that's great. So I look over and it looks good to me. So I go ahead and hit insert. Oh, wait, no, something's wrong. I do not have my vertical axis labeled. So what I can do to go back to the original screen that I should have added it before is I can do an advanced edit and it will come back. And so what I need to do is I need to then, on my left vertical, go ahead and put what I should have had right there. So I update it, go back, and everything looks perfect. Okay, congratulations, you have now finished graph number 1. All right, this one is a little bit more complicated because you need to do some data analysis, but the computer will do it for you. So what I need to do, just like last time, is I need to do all of the cutting and pasting. So I'm going to copy and paste. Now here, rather than cutting and pasting them all together, and I keep saying cutting, I mean copy. So here I copy, and then I paste. All right, these are all a little bit bigger than I want it to be. I want to see all my data on a single screen. So I'm going to have to move this off to keep going. So go to my last data set. And then what I can do here is I can resize my columns. And so I'm going to resize it down to a size where all of my data is now on the same paper. Okay, so everything looks good. All right, so as I already said, or as you should know, you're only going to graph the average of 5 of these. So that means for each of these data sets, I need to get rid of 2 of them. So what I'm going to do is these are the 2 latest to grow, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them. Whoops. So I'm going to highlight that row, go to Edit, Delete Column G and H. All right, and here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to delete columns L and M. All right, so now I have 5 data sets to find the average. What I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a new column right here that's going to be my, whoops, it went in the wrong place. Perfect thing. If you ever make a mistake, just simply undo it. So let's try that again. Insert column right. Hey, there we go. Okay, make it a little bit wider. And so this is going to be my H2O average. And then, of course, that'll make this my NaCl average. Okay, so setting up the formula can be a little tricky at first, but once you have done it, you only have to ever do it once for each data set. So what I want to do is I want to find the average of these 5 numbers. So the way you do that is you go equals. There's going to be 5 data sets. I click on it, and you will notice B2 pops up, so it's going to add the number in there. I do plus sign, click on that one, plus sign, click on that one, plus sign, click on that one, plus sign, click on that one. All right, so those are the 5 numbers that I want to add, or find the average, so I add them together and divide by 5. Boom. Okay, so that was a little time consuming, but look at this. Now, all I need to do is drag it down, and it'll do all of them for me. So I'm going to do the same thing for my NaCl, equals, don't forget your open parentheses to add all the numbers together first, equals plus that one, that one, that one, and that one, divide by 5. Oh no, I made a mistake. I must have hit the wrong button. Yay, okay, so there we go. All right, unfortunately, I will not be able to graph this because what I want to graph is here, here, and here, so I'm going to have to redo it down here, okay? So I'm going to copy and paste, all right, and I'm going to copy and paste. All right, make this one a little bit wider, make this one a little bit wider. Okay, so I have 2 options now. I can actually go ahead and copy these numbers directly, or I can redo the calculations. So I want to make sure to redo the calculations. So this plus this plus this plus this plus this, all divided by 5. Yay. Equals this plus this plus this plus this plus this. The one thing I would like to point out is because this was color-coded, it was really quickly for me to see where these 5 were and where these 5 were. If everything is the same, it's hard to see. If you're interested in color coding, that's going to be this button right here. And so if you fill in the color, it'll do it. So if I wanted to do this as a, let's say, orange, since it's a data analysis, whoa, wrong one. If I want to do it as orange, there we go. Anyways, I didn't finish my formula, so it's mad at me. Divided by 5. Boom. Okay. So now all I need to do is that and that. Yay, I have my data. So that did take a while, but it's the most complicated thing you will need to do. And so now I can finally graph it. Insert chart, not graph. Default will be a bar graph. Change it to a line graph. And then don't forget to go in and change the title and any of the other stuff that needs to be done. Insert. And then if you look at it and when you're analyzing it, you realize something is wrong, don't forget that all you can do is go here to fix it. All right, so hopefully this allows you to make all of your graphs, and good luck.